Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the English translation of the Majlis of Hazrath Maulana Qamar Uzzaman Saheb Damat Barakatuhum, which took place on Thursday at Darul Ma'arif al-Islamiyya in Kareli, Alahbadi, UP, India. Thursday, the 7th of Ramadan, 1444, corresponding with the English date, 30th of March, 2023. Hazrat Wala starts us Majlis by quoting the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, As-sawmu li wa ana ajzi bih. Fasting is for me and I will personally give the reward for it. Like how we recite Quran and how we try to fulfill the haqq of the month of Ramadan by doing different ibadat, similarly we should also abandon sin. By doing that, we will truly be able to fulfill the haqq of Ramadan. Hazrat Wala says, a beautiful malfuz there, ta'at ka karna abrar ka kaam hai. To carry out righteous deeds, that's the work of saintly and pious people. And tarke ma'asi siddiqeen ka kaam hai. And abandoning sin is of even a higher level. It is the work of the siddiqeen. Allah Ta'ala says, wailul likulli humazatil lumaza alladhi jama'a ma'law wa'addada yahsabu anna ma'lahu akhlada kalla layunbadhanna fil hutama وما أدراك ما الحطمة نار الله الموقدة التي تطلع على الأفئدة إنها عليهم مؤصدة في عمد ممددة. So Allah Ta'ala is saying in this particular ayat of in this particular surah of the Quran Majid, some very important discussions are mentioned there in Surah Humaza. Hazrat Wala then speaks about Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Hussain Amritsari, who was from amongst the great Khulafa and deputies, Khalifas of Hazrat Tanvi Rahimahullah. Now Hazrat Khaja Muhammad Madzub was there, but he was not in Ali Medine. But when Maulana Muhammad Hussain Amritsari came, and he had this Ali Ahwal, very high spiritual states, then Hazrat Maulana Tanvi said that I have tasalli, mujhe tasalli hai. This is a great consolation for me because this man has ilm as well. So regarding him, we are speaking and we are discussing. So we quoted the ayat of the Quran Majid there, wailul likulli humazatil lumaza الذي جمع مالا وعدده يحسب أن ماله أخلده كلا لينبذن في الحطمة وما أدراك ما الحطمة نار الله الموقدة التي تطلع على الأفئدة إنها عليهم مؤصدة في عمد ممددة. So here in this particular surah, Allah Ta'ala is saying, destruction be for every person who searches for faults. Meaning he searches for faults in others. The scandalmonger. Destruction be for every person who searches for faults in others. Meaning he is a scandalmonger and who mocks the mu'mineen. Alladhi jama'a ma'law wa'addada, who because of the extreme love of wealth, what does he do? He amasses wealth and keeps meticulous count of it. يَحْسَبُ أَنَّ مَالَهُ أَخْلَدَ. He foolishly thinks that this wealth will keep him alive forever. It will remain with him forever and forever. كَلَّا لَيُنْبَذَنَّ فِي الْحُطَمَةِ. Never. This will never be so. He will soon have to die, and he will certainly be thrown into the thresher, into the crusher. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الْحُطَمَةِ. How will you know what the thresher or the crusher is? Narullahil muqada. It is Allah's kindled fire, meaning the fire of Jahannam. Allati tattali'u ala al-af'ida, which is so intense that it even penetrates the heart. Innaha alayhim mu'sada. It will certainly be locked over them so that they cannot escape. Fi amadim mumaddada. In extended pillars, meaning the flames of Jahannam will rise above the people like massive pillars from which they will never be able to escape. So here, allati tattali'u ala al-af'ida, which is so intense that it even penetrates the heart. So he said, Hazrat Wala is saying, quoting Hazrat Maulana Mohammad Hussain Amritsari, about him, about this particular ayat, he would say, when I read this ayat, when I listen to this ayat, I can feel the fire on my heart. Allahu Akbar. So normally when the fire breaks out, it will touch a person's hands or his legs or this or that. It will penetrate into the inner part of his body last. But here Allah Ta'ala is saying that it will penetrate. The flames are so intense, they are so intense that it even penetrates the hearts. So what is this khanqa all about? The khanqa apne mitane ka naam hai. It is a place where a person humbles himself, annihilation of the self. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab went to the khanqa of Hazrat Tanvi, and then in the later years thereafter, Maulana Abdul Majid used to come to the khanqa of Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, and then he said, Hazrat, you stayed in the khanqa of Hazrat Tanvi? I didn't see you there. So Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab then said to me that I didn't go there to show anybody that I am there. Rather, he said to Maulana Abdul Majid Sahab that I was there, you didn't see me, but I seen you. खूने दिल पीने को, लख्ते जिगर खाने को, यही ग़िज़ा मिलती है जाना तेरी दीवाने को. A person will have to make a sacrifice. He will have to undergo difficulty. Then only will he achieve something. कुछ होना मेरा ज़िल्लत और खारी का सबब है. यह है मेरा एजाज़ कि मैं कुछ भी नहीं हूँ. Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Ahmad Sahab used to say that being something, this is a source and a sense of disgrace and intimidation for me. ये मेरा एजाज़ है. This is my honor that I am nothing. That's my honor. How the days of Ramadan would proceed and progress more and more. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to say that Ramadan is going, kuch hasil karo, achieve something. Rather, he was to say this to his own daughters. And in the end, when Falij ka asar hua, he had a stroke. Then what did Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab say to the Hakim at that time? I think that this Ramadan I read too much of Quran. It was the day of Eid, and Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab had old shoes on, and then Dr. Salahuddin brought some new pair of shoes, and then Hazrat then took it out and he said, I'll wear this, otherwise what will people think that I don't even have? In the khanqa of Hazrat Maulana Tanvi, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, after the Asr Salat, he would go out into the open, and he would go and write the maktubat of Hazrat Tanvi at that time. Now, we are speaking about the importance of time. Everything, there is a qaza, and you can cover up for it. But there is no qaza, you cannot recoup and do anything for time. You cannot get it back. Ramadan also, maybe you must arada one fast. You can make qaza of it. However, remember well that time in the month of Ramadan that passed, there is no qada for that whatsoever. You know, when I was standing up and coming, this thought just came to my mind of the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Inna yasira riya shirkun. The slightest amount of riya is shirk. It is ascribing partners. The slightest amount of ostentation and show, it is equal to ascribing partners. It is ascribing partners to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hazrat Sayyidina Abdul Qadir Jilani rahimahullah used to say and address, "O mushriks, O those who ascribe partners to Allah." Now that was his shan. He would say that because people were so much involved and so much drowning in show, ostentation and riya. So we should have islah in our minds for ourselves. Hazrat Wala thereafter quotes the ayat of the Quran Majid, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara. O people of Iman, save yourselves and your families from the fire of Jahannam. You know, there's an incident that Hazrat Wala speaks about of a person that steals and then he gets caught and his hands are now about to be chopped off, amputated, and then he starts screaming and speaking so ill about his mother, and then people said, what type of a man is this? At this time here, people cry and they remember their parents so fondly and compassionately. And he went on to say that I was a little child and I used to go into the neighborhood and I used to go and steal eggs. When I used to bring it, my mother used to become so happy and she used to say that, see, here's my son, he stole and brought some eggs. And she would then start praising me just like how a nightingale chirps, the chirping of that bird. So, if at that time there she stopped me, such a day would have not come in my life. Now the lap of a mother, it is the first training grounds, it is the first classroom, rather university of a child. Hazrat Maulana Ali Mia Saheb's mother, in her old age, even at that time, so much nigrani of her son, she's lying down and she's saying, did Ali read his Surah Yasin? Did Ali read Surah Kahf? So much of tarbiyat she made of him that eventually in the end, Hazrat Maulana Ali Mia Saheb, as we all know, he passed away on Yawmul Jum'ah while reciting Surah Yasin, or it was Surah Kahf. Now there's a masala that they asked a certain person that the mother is saying that I need to go and take my daughter for Hajj. Can I go with? Because I am going to take her because of the purposes of hifazat and to look after her. So the alim gave a fantastic answer by saying that you are old yourself, rather you need someone else to look after you and make your hifazat. Where are you going to look after your daughter? You yourself are in need of someone looking after you. Allahu Akbar. And then on another occasion, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb was looking for the masala and making tahqiq on this particular point that, a person is at home, but he's having his animal slaughtered in the village. So now, when do we do, how do we do, what will be taken into consideration, when does he read his Eid Salat, etc. So the answer was found in Bahr al-Ra'iq, and I took it out and I gave it to Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb, denoting and pointing out to him that consideration will be given to the place where the animal is slaughtered, and not regarding, consideration will not be given to the person whom that Qurbani animal stands for, that person. No, not for him. He will not be taken into consideration, rather the place where it is being slaughtered. He became so happy with this type of tahqiq and looking for these type of answers that he said to me, Qamar Uzzaman, kaho tumko pagri bandh kar shasab bana do. Tell me, Qamar Uzzaman, let me fasten a turban on your head and make you a Shah Sahib. Allahu Akbar. Or let me know and tell me, Tumko fika fi deen ko de do. Or rather tell me, must I give you understanding of deen? And I said to Hazrat, give me understanding of deen. So making qadr of the deen, making qadr of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, of the Quran and the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Ramadan has come, and in this month the Quran has been revealed. So we have to make and have concern for our islah. Now what is islah? وَنَعْنِي بِالْأَخْلَاقِ مَا هُوَ أَعْمَالُ الْقُلُوبِ. And we actually intend by saying akhlaq, we actually understand by that there that what is akhlaq? Ma huwa a'malul qulub. It is the workings and it is the amal of the heart. Now who writes this? Saheb Kanzul Ummal. So tawazu and humility, no matter what humble words you may say, it is directly and actually genuinely a quality and a characteristic of the heart. So we will not just look at this and that there, rather it is a feature and a characteristic of the heart. So you may have it here and there and everywhere, but if this quality is not in your heart, then the sifat itself is not in your heart, then it is not there. Similarly, a person may be generous, people may say he is generous, but if he does not have generosity in his heart, he will not be considered to be generous. So this is what I'm trying to say, that akhlaq is directly related to the heart. So a person will not be called generous no matter how much he feeds people or does this or that. And regarding the external, it is a'malul jawarih. So the Ramadan has come here for this particular reason, so that لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, you can get piety. So Su'ila Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam an akthari ma yudkhilul jannah. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam was asked regarding that amal, by means of which people, because of its barakat or carrying it out, will enter into Jannah in abundance. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam then said, Taqwallah wa husnul khulq, the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and good character. Ibn Qayyim says, by means of the fear of Allah, taqwa, a person will fulfill the right of Allah, and by means of good character, he will fulfill the rights of people. I went to Turkeshwar, people came in huge scores and huge droves, and I spoke on the same topic. It is a Sarih hadith, and Ramadan is for this. We make mashq of this year in Ramadan so that we can get this taqwa. You people, talibeen, seekers of the truth, looking for the islah, you have come, you are so good, you are so wonderful. Tum sab humse achhe ho, all of you are better than me. Hazrat Haji Imdadullah used to say this to the attendees of his Majlis and his gathering. They were great ulama, but he would tell them that you people are better than me. Now that was that quality which was in the heart of Hazrat Haji Imdadullah, which was the heights of humility. Now that person who has his earthen pot connected to the ocean, tell me, will he ever run short of water? Never. The ta'alluq of ilm is directly what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Baqarah, Allah ta'ala says, وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَيُعَلِّمُكُمُ اللَّهُ. Fear Allah, and thus Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will teach you. يَعْلَمُ خَائِنَةَ الْأَعْيُنِ وَمَا تُخْفِي الصُّدُورِ. Allah is the possessor of knowledge. Ilm is His quality. He knows, He has ilm of the deception of the eyes and what the hearts hide. Inna yasir al-riya'i shirkun. The slightest amount of show and ostentation will constitute and be equal to that of shirk. Allah Ta'ala give us all ikhlas. Man akhlasa lillahi lamhatan wahidatan naja. The person who adopts and has ikhlas just for one moment, then it is so weighty that it will be the means of his salvation tomorrow. And to have ikhlas just for this one moment, our entire lives we spend in this. And it is for this reason here also that they say yak sa'at bar sohbate awliya ba sohbate awliya, one moment in the gathering, in the khidmat, in the company of the awliya is better than 100 years of ibadat without riya and show. Why? Because in their gatherings there is so much of ikhlas, that one moment of ikhlas is achieved there, or you learn about the great concept of ikhlas there. So as-sawmu li wa ana ajzi bih. Sawm is for me and I will grant its reward. Some narrations or muhaddithin traditionists pronounce it this way: wa ana udza bih, rather I myself personally am the reward for the fasting person's fast. Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Ahmad Saheb used to speak about valuing the great moments of the holy month of Ramadan, and then he went on to speak about and say of will we have and enjoy the next Ramadan? How many of us will even know that we are here or not? Nevertheless, Hazrat Maulana himself did not live to see the next Ramadan. He was giving us that nasihat and emphasizing to us. So Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of spending our Ramadan with ikhlas. So man sama Ramadan imanan wa ihtisaba ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbi. A person who keeps roza in Ramadan with iman, understanding it to be prescribed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, having iman that this roza is farz for him, and having hope in his heart, having hope of the great rewards that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has kept in store, then such a person's sins will be forgiven. وَالذَّاكِرِينَ اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا وَالذَّاكِرَاتِ أَعَدَّ اللَّهُ لَهُمْ مَغْفِرَةً وَأَجْرًا عَظِيمًا. Hazrat Wala quotes the ayat of the Quran Majid, and those men who remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala abundantly, وَالذَّاكِرَاتِ, and those women as well. أَعَدَّ اللَّهُ لَهُمْ مَغْفِرَةً وَأَجْرًا عَظِيمًا. Allah Ta'ala speaks about both of them, and the reward for both of them would be equal. Allah is prepared for them maghfirat and a great reward. Whether that dhikr is verbally or it is in the heart. Now Allah Masharani also speaks, here in the dunya all our efforts are so that we can get this batini nur, but in the akhirat the zahiri nur will be so great that at that time there, when Allah Ta'ala will expose and let loose and make apparent the external nur, then even the batin will become ashamed that so great is the nur of the external. So therefore, do not understand wudu and namaz to be insignificant or small. No. On one occasion, a murid or a disciple says to the sheikh that, Hazrat, I seen this nur. And then the sheikh then alerts him, rather makes his islah and brings him back to his original position and actually tells him what was that nur all about. And he goes on to say that that nur actually was the nur of your wudu. You had hardly even reached the nur of salat. Allah Ta'ala bless me also with these great gifts. Allah include me also. So many people have come here. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, much fewer people came in that time there, but he would be so pleased and then he would say, Qamar Uzzaman, हमारे बरादरी में लोग आते तो वो लोग खुश होते. In our people there at home, back in the village, etc., amongst us, if some visitors used to come, then our people would become so happy. Here, people are coming every day. People are coming every day. So, recognizing this nafs of yours is something great. Man arafa nafsahu arafa rabbahu. The person who truly understands his makeup, he understands who he is. In reality, he has understood Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and recognized Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And The person who has recognized himself will always keep his weaknesses in front of him. Rather, he will make qata of nazar towards his a'mal. He will make tark of nazar ila al-a'mal. He will abandon this gaze and this look and this concentration and just being on this point that I done so much a'mal, I done so much a'mal. Rather, think about the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in which he mentions about the person who is born, and from the time of birth right up till the time of demise, he spends his life in ibadat, rather in sajda. Then too he will not be able to fulfill the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So take your gaze off your a'mal. This is tariq. This is the path to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Take your gaze off your a'mal and your accomplishments and your perfections. So I was saying that that person was speaking ill about his mother. Therefore, from now, our women folk, we ourselves should have fikr of ourselves and our children as well. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb used to encourage us and let us pass the month of Ramadan in the best manner. Rather, he used to be very stern on us in the month of Ramadan. इस वक्त निस्बत हासिल करो तो सब कुछ. At this time here, if you get this nisbat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ta'alluq, and this grand connection with him, then it is everything. Khune dil peene ko, lakhte jigar kaane ko, yahi ghiza milti hai jana teri diwane ko. Hazrat Wala is saying that you have to make an effort, you have to undergo difficulty, you have to do this, then you have to do that, then you will achieve. And Hazrat Wala is saying, hum log damad the, that we were son-in-laws there. Then too, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb was so strict with us. Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of making qadr of Ramadan, qadr, and appreciating Quran, and appreciating this gathering of the ijtima and the gathering of salihin. In fact, we are going to Gataman also, and there everywhere we go, there is only ijtima and ijtima. But remember, we have to abandon sins, ma'asi. So Bahisht and Jannah will be that place in which no person will be inconvenienced in any way. Hazrat Tanvi had these couplets written and hung in his khanka. We can't have badkhulki or inconvenience someone in some way. Al-Muslim, who's the genuine Muslim? Man salim al-Muslimuna min lisanihi wa yadihi. He's that individual whom others are safe from the evil or the harm of his tongue and his hands. So it was Maulana Yusuf Saheb or one of the other elders that said, no, it was Hazrat Maulana Ubaidullah Saheb. I spent lots of time with him there at the Markaz, and he would say that you people are leaving and going, but listen, now live good, live in a good way. People are looking at you with a very deep gaze. They are monitoring you, they are watching your moves and your everything, because you have just come back. So let it not be such that because of you badnami comes and a ill or bad reputation then is given. Do not give anyone taklif in any way. So the bunyadi and one of the fundamental ahadith that we have to really consider in this path to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Muslimu man salima al-Muslimuna bil lisanihi wa yadihi. Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha used to receive a gift, not receive a gift, give a gift by the hand of her attendant and her assistant. When the lady would then come back, she would ask her, you gave the gift, what did the people say? Then she would go on to say that they gave so much of dua, they were so happy that you gave that gift. Immediately she would give them dua back in exchange, and she would say, this dua is for that dua. So it's squinched, and the score is equal. Now let my hadiyah be for them and let my reward be from Allah alone. Allahu Akbar. Hazrat Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha is in her last moments. Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu ta'ala anha seeks permission to enter. He is denied. And after much persistence and others interceding, I think it was Ibn Abbas. Eventually he is given, yes, it was Ibn Abbas. So eventually he is given the permission, he enters, and then he starts praising Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha that your chastity has been revealed from the arsh. You are like this, you are like that. With much grief and a deep sigh, she said that, didn't I tell you that he is going to come and praise me? Today we are looking for praise. Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha detested praise. But what is the praise in front of a saintly person? إِذَا مُدِحَ الْمُؤْمِنْ فِي وَجْهِهِ رَبَى الْإِيمَانُ فِي قَلْبِهِ. When a mu'min is praised in his presence, then iman increases in his heart, because he understands that this is nothing other than the kindness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that he had been blessed to carry out this or that or the other. When I said this particular hadith to Hazrat Hakim Akhtar Sahab, he was so delighted and he said, I am taking this hadith as a gift and going back to my country. Today, people are thirsty for tarif and praise. And what was this praise actually? This was the praise actually trying to clear her name of that allegation that was made against her. Then too, at that time, she is saying that, why are you praising me? I wish that I can be like this, that Aisha, nobody knows when Aisha came, when she went. Rather, she's Nasya Mansiya, nobody knows her, she's gone and forgotten. Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam addresses Fatima radiallahu ta'ala anha. Oh Fatima, do what you have to do. Tomorrow your father will not be able to help you. Ya Fatima, anqidhi nafsaki minan nar. Save yourself from the fire of Jahannam. Man arafa nafsahu, arafa rabbahu. Whoever understands himself to be ignorant, he'll understand Allah to have all knowledge. The person who understands himself and remembers himself with disgrace, he will understand and recognize Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with honor. Allah ta'ala bless us with such recognition and such annihilation of oneself, fana'iyat. Allah bless us with that. So, qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara. Save yourselves and your family from the fire of Jahannam. Allah Ta'ala bless us with the fuyuz and the barakat of Ramadan. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم بحرمة سيد النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم.